Welcome to Xi Jinping Briefing. The content of the briefing includes economics tip to top China, South Korea and Japan foreign ministers talks. Pakistani Taliban threatens to attack China's Belt and Road route unless tax paid. Can US focus on Asia-Pacific while distracted by Ukraine, Middle East conflicts? Economics tip to top China, South Korea and Japan foreign ministers talks. South China Morning Post. Foreign Minister Wang Yi of China will meet his counterparts from Japan and South Korea for the first time in 4 years. The trilateral meeting in the South Korean city of Busan comes as Tokyo and Seoul increasingly side with the United States in its rivalry with China. Analysts say the talks indicate a positive diplomatic momentum in the country's efforts to manage tensions, but a dramatic improvement in relations is unlikely given the distrust between them and pressures from Washington. They expect the ministers to discuss ways to strengthen trade and economic cooperation, with North Korea likely also on the agenda. Pakistani Taliban threatens to attack China's Belt and Road route unless tax paid. Telegraph. The Pakistani Taliban has threatened to attack Chinese Belt and Road development projects unless the government pays them a 5% tax on construction. The threat is part of a campaign of extortion aimed at those involved with realizing the Pakistani leg of Xi Jinping's flagship global infrastructure project, the Belt and Road Initiative. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor links China's western Xinjiang province to Gwadar Port in the southwest. The Taliban commander's threats are part of a campaign of extortion aimed at those involved with realizing the Pakistani leg of Xi Jinping's flagship global infrastructure project. Can US focus on Asia-Pacific while distracted by Ukraine, Middle East conflicts? South China Morning Post. The United States' strategic focus on the Asia-Pacific region is once again being diverted by conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East, raising questions about its alliances and influence in a region overshadowed by China's ambitions. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has insisted that the U.S. will maintain its focus on the Asia-Pacific, but history shows that such promises often go unfulfilled as the U.S. gets distracted by events in other parts of the world. The U.S. has previously attempted to pivot to Asia, but has been drawn into conflicts in the Middle East and the fight against global terrorist groups. The U.S. focus on the Asia-Pacific is crucial for countering China's growing influence, but ongoing conflict and the upcoming U.S. presidential election may divert attention away from the region. However, the U.S. can rely on its network of allies in the region, which the Biden administration has called one of its greatest strategic assets. These alliances and partnerships will be key to maintaining stability and countering China's activities in the region. Japan, Australia, and other US-aligned partners will likely play a greater role in the region if the US is distracted, but they cannot fully substitute for the US presence and capabilities. The US diminished focus on the Asia-Pacific will have a significant impact, as no other country is in a position to fill the gap left by the US. While Japan and India may increase their efforts in the region, they are limited in their capabilities and can only supplement the US role. The U.S. lack of economic engagement with the region is also a challenge, as it stands in stark contrast to China's investments and the Belt and Road Initiative. The collapse of the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the limited progress of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework have hindered the U.S. economic commitment to the region. China's economic influence in the region will continue to grow, while the U.S. remains economically weak. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your trusted observer from the sixth dimension. Today, we discussed 3 important news stories that have significant implications for the Asia-Pacific region. Firstly, the long-awaited trilateral meeting between the foreign ministers of China, Japan, and South Korea is finally happening. Although it's been 4 years since their last meeting, this is a positive sign of diplomatic momentum. However, let's not get our hopes up for a dramatic improvement in relations just yet. The deep-rooted distrust between these countries and the pressure from the United States will make it challenging to find common ground. Nevertheless, discussions on trade, economic cooperation, and the North Korean situation are likely to take place. Secondly, we learned that the Pakistani Taliban is threatening to attack China's Belt and Road projects unless the government pays them a tax on construction. It seems that these extremists are trying to exploit the construction of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor for their own gain. This is another reminder of the complex challenges faced by China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative. The Chinese government will need to navigate security threats and ensure the safety of its projects. Lastly, we discussed the United States' ability to focus on the Asia-Pacific region amidst distractions from conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. While Secretary of State Antony Blinken has assured us of their commitment to the region, history has shown us that such promises often fall by the wayside. The U.S. pivot to Asia has been repeatedly derailed by events in other parts of the world. However, the Biden administration recognizes the importance of their alliances in the region, and Japan, Australia, and other U.S.-aligned partners will likely step in if the U.S. becomes too distracted. Nonetheless, the absence of the U.S. strong presence and capabilities will have a significant impact, as no other country can fully fill the gap. In conclusion, the Asia-Pacific region is a complex and dynamic landscape. The interactions between China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States will shape the future of the region. Economic cooperation, security threats, and strategic alliances will all play a crucial role in determining the balance of power. It's a fascinating time to be an observer, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. So, what are your ideas on these developments? Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.